Hi, I'm Chaz. Welcome to this on-demand in-flight yoga class. You like the creativity? I'm quite proud of myself right now. So I wanted to sort of simulate what it would be like to do a little bit of yoga while on a plane. Because when do we need yoga more than when we are, sardined on a little tube in the sky? So I really hope that you enjoy this class. I know that these little stretches have really helped me in all of my travels as an international retreat leader. So whether the flight is just a quick little, hop, skip, and a jump from Athens to Florence, or you're on that mofo for, perpetual sunrise for 12 hours, I really feel like this little sequence will help you feel better, more calm, more grounded, and more prepared for your next destination. So let's get started. So you get to your seat. Introduce yourself to your neighbor. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm the crazy yogi that will be sitting next to you. Sitting down, trying to shove that fat foot into a little designer shoe underneath your seat, your bag, etc. Disinfect first, and then you get down, buckle in. This is what I do in my spare time. It is, it really is. What do you do, Chaz? I come up with really fun little classes for my on-demand platform. And you buckle in, and you're like, okay, I made it. So I always recommend to just, before you do diddly, close your freaking eyes. Just close your eyes and arrive. The key to any successful trip for me is just to get grounded. Because when you are standing in long lines throughout security and whatever else, or whatever went into getting your ass on the plane in the first place, in order to root when you're in the air, you have to really just ground down onto your seat, right? So I always make it a point, I always stick to the aisle row. I'm an aisle girl, so I can extend my legs as much as possible. But once I disinfect the whole thing, I just sit down, maybe put the air on or not, and try to just choose to be here now, right? Which is a huge decision because all of your energy's up here. So the minute I sit down, I just close my eyes and I'm here. I'm sitting on my seat. I finally got on the plane. I feel proud of myself for having gone through all that I did in order to get here. And I just ground. That's it. So I want you to do the same right now. So you can keep your neck pillow on or whatever. Just sitting for a second without fixing or adjusting anything, and just close your eyes. And just feel the weight of your hips against your seat. Feel your knees getting a little heavier and anchoring them down in toward your heels. Feel your hands feel heavier against your thighs. You can have your palms face down to ground unless you're needing to receive like something, palms face up, but hands down, closing your eyes. You have, if you wanted to put sunglasses on just as a sort of social cue to your neighbor that you're not wanting to talk, whatever you need to do in order to ground. And now give yourself a big breath and let it go. Do that again. Inhale into your stomach, lift your heart, and let it go. One more time. Good. And with your eyes closed, get used to the idea of tending to yourself and being okay with that while you sense the other energies around you. So everyone has a story, right? Everyone on this plane has a story right now. We're coming from all different backgrounds. We're heading to different places. We're coming from different places. But ultimately, this is a story of one. And it's really up to you to just self-care and tend to yourself right now, because it's this body that is your main vehicle. It's your main method of transportation throughout your life. So let's tend to that vehicle. With your eyes closed, maybe just notice your energy without any judgment. You may feel still the frenzy, the rush in the Uber ride to the airport, right? Or if you were just running because of a connecting flight. It's all welcomed, and it's all part of the story. And then maybe as you tune more into your energy, you can start to align more with how you're wanting to feel for the rest of this flight. Are you needing a nap? Are you wanting to watch a movie? Are you wanting to read a book? Are you wanting to talk to your neighbor? Right? So setting the intention for what you want this flight to be for yourself. That's your right. And then I want us to start to ground a little bit more and breathe a little bit more. So you have the choice. You can keep your neck pillow around your head if it feels better. Sometimes if you wrap the headrest, it may feel a little bit cozier. This is all based on your comfort, really no alignment. This is airplane alignment. Airplane alignment is whatever the hell is more comfortable, wherever you can find the most comfort. So you can keep your neck pillow around your head, or you can place it at your low back. I sometimes like doing that so I can sit away from the back of the seat and creating as much of a right angle with my thighs as possible. So your knee is right above the ankle bone. Resting your hands on your thighs and again, closing the eyes, and this time more of an active grounding. So breathe into your belly and lift your breath up into your heart. And then exhale from the heart and the stomach. Do that again. Inhale into the belly and up to the heart. And then exhale from the heart and the stomach. A couple more rounds like this. And as you're doing this, rest your eyes, unclench your jaw. Try to level your chin to the ground. And then this would be a fine time for us to do some Ujjayi breathing, which kind of sounds like the white noise on an airplane. So you have the choice. This is sort of depends on how self-conscious you are. I personally don't give a shit what I look like when I'm on a plane, because I just need to calm myself down to get to my next destination. Especially when I'm leading a retreat, my energy is gold, right? It's very, very valuable. So I don't care what people think. If I do alternate nostril breathing and people think I'm picking my nose, don't care. But let's just do some Ujjayi breathing. So sometimes I will place my hand to my heart and hand to my stomach, breathing into my belly, lifting the breath up into the heart and pausing. And then exhale from the heart and the stomach. Now this time I want you to do it, but fog a mirror. So inhale into your belly, lift the breath up into your heart, and then make that gushing sound like. Do that again. Inhale into your belly, lift the breath up into the heart, and then gush. One more time. And then. Now you can keep exhaling with an open mouth, Or maybe consider closing your mouth mid-exhale so it sounds more like this. Again, inhale. Once more. Now notice as you're doing this, you're naturally getting more relaxed, which is the beauty of Ujjayi breathing. So doing it once more, but this time maybe try to have your mouth closed the entire time. So inhale into the belly, up to the heart, and then again, inhale. Beautiful. Once more. And now keeping your eyes closed, rest your hands on your thighs and just feel the difference in your energy now, in your body now. You feel more in your own inner environment versus everything else going on around you. And I would love for you to continue to Ujjayi breathe for the remainder of your flight, whenever possible, especially if you're connecting, you get to your next destination, you're going through customs lines. Ujjayi breathing is just so beneficial. I do it all of the time when I am traveling. It brings in more patience. Maybe sometimes when there's a language barrier, it brings in more patience. Maybe when sometimes you don't have the best flight attendants, right? It brings in patience when you may not love your neighbor. It brings in patience when there's turbulence, right? It brings in trust and calm when there's turbulence. So Ujjayi breathing is super beneficial. And I'd love for you to continue to do that as often as possible. So at this point, after I've grounded myself, I try to ease my body more into, okay, I'm parking this for a good 4, 5, 10, 15 hours, depending on where I'm going. So again, I'm sitting away from my seat right now, and just simple neck rolls. So lowering your chin down toward the chest. You can first start with a pendulum. So you draw your chin up toward your right shoulder, and then over to your left shoulder, and to the right. Just breathing, maybe continuing that Ujjayi, and then to the left. And then you can start to make it a little bit larger in circumference. Inhaling. And then if you want a full neck roll, feel free. These are all movements designed for you that you can do without really having to touch your neighbor. And then go the other direction. And if anything, your movements may become contagious. And so your neighbor may start to do some stretches and your neighbor will become calmer, which will make your neighbor a better neighbor. That's right. And now coming up to straight, keep your shoulders facing the seat in front of you, but I want you to turn your head toward the right. And in doing so, press your left shoulder back and then switch, turn your head the other way and press the opposite shoulder back. And then coming back to center. If you have the ability to reach your arms forward, do so. Interlace your hands and flip away. You can also lean more back into the seat and maybe round your back in the process. And then raise your arms up. Oh, yawning is good. My yoga teacher, Gurmukh, would always say, Banu, when you yawn, I take it as a compliment because you never yawn when you are terrified. One never yawns when you are scared. So yawning is a really good sort of subliminal message that you can send to your mind that everything is okay right now. No oxygen masks have been deployed. We're fine. It's all fine. Take your hands behind your head if you can, right? If you can't, you can't, and you can do this later. So hands behind the head, shoulders, and lift your heart. Lean back into your hands. If you need to draw your elbows in a little closer toward your midline, do that instead. And then tip your chin down and push your hands into your back of your head, drawing the chin down toward the chest. And then look forward, arms up. Bad joke about the oxygen masks, I'm sorry. You can't laugh about it, you know what I mean? So sometimes I have the ability to do this. I'm going to mirror you. So right hand comes down to the edge of your seat. You lift up higher into your left. You lean a little to the right and you push down through your left butt cheek. And then raise that left arm up. Take your fingers to your right ear and pull your left ear down. That's so nice. Oh, it's so nice. And then tip your chin down toward the left part of your chest. And then release. And you can hold these poses way longer, so feel free to hit pause and hold it longer, or just remember the sequence, you know, and redo it. Arms up, left hand down, grab onto the edge of the seat if you can, or just hand to the side or on your thigh even. Lift up higher into your right, lean to the left. Maybe look under that right arm. And a lot of this is just instinctual because you may need to redo one stretch because it just feels better, right? Coming up, fingers to your left ear and pull your right ear down, my goodness. And then tip your chin down toward the right part of your chest. And then come on up and release. So one thing I sometimes do is I take my elbows to the seat in front of me, and I am kind of like pushing my elbows into the seat. And now you can also extend your tray table if you can at this moment, and rest your kind of arms on the tray table and do the same. I take my elbows to the seat and I just kind of press my chest down in between my elbows, essentially, my inner upper arms. And then coming up. And you may even, if you can, wiggle a little bit further away from the edge of the seat. Arms back up, inhale. Take your right hand to your outer left thigh and your left hand behind you to something. Lift, inhale, and pull into a twist, like over your left shoulder. Lengthen, inhale, go deeper into it as you exhale. Once more. Now, if you want, you can add a little side stretch, so facing forward, left arm up and lean to the right. Yeah. And then coming up, release arms up, inhale, and again, just kind of carefully maneuvering around said neighbor. Left hand to your outer thigh, right hand to the chair behind you. Lengthen and twist, look over your right shoulder. And keep that hand there, facing forward, raise your right arm and lean to the left. Oh, kind of push down through that right butt cheek to deepen the stretch. And then come on up and release. So these are all dependent on what kind of airplane you're on, what kind of class you may be in. Maybe you're in the exit row. The next one may not be conducive to your situation or your environment. So while sitting, if I have the space, I have the aisle seat. So I can always pivot toward the aisle and do it this way, right? So I rest my right outer ankle above my left knee, and I kind of wiggle my butt back into the back of the seat and I lean forward. So you can also do it this way, where you're, I think I said left foot on top of your right knee. So you have your right foot directly under your right knee. So your right leg is in a right angle. And you just kind of lean forward. And you could even rest your elbows like on the tray table. You can push that arm down. It's a great hip stretch. And we're going to do this in a second, getting up. You can also keep your legs like that, but take your left hand to the foot and your right hand to the chair behind you. And then come back and release and change. So being very careful, right? Other outer ankle above the knee, kind of sitting like a guy. You wiggle your butt back, you lean forward and you push down. Oh, yeah. And just pressing that knee down and then coming up, right hand to the foot, left hand to the chair behind you, lengthen and twist. And come back to center and shake it out. Now, if you happen to have the aisle seat, something that I do, you can maybe do this if you have enough leg room in front of you, where you just extend a leg like under the seat in front of you and you just kind of flex and point your foot. Maybe roll your foot around in some circles, or you're extending your leg out, just making sure that, you know, the beverage cart isn't coming. And just make sure you do both. Just extending the leg and rolling the foot. All simple stuff. And this also is going to help you. Sometimes people swell, like I sometimes swell on a plane. So just moving your body around will prevent a lot of that swelling from happening. So when you find yourself lucky enough, fortunate enough to get up and kind of move around a little bit, now you're in the aisle. You can just stand by your seat, right? So this is your seat, this is your right if you have the aisle seat. If you don't, you can still, if there's no one, you find a wall. You can do this if you go to the bathroom. There's always, you know, I always go in the back of the plane and bullshit with the flight attendants because that's just who I am, that's my nature. So there's always a wall that you can place your hands on. So you can either place your hands on your seat, a wall, even the bathroom door, outside of the bathroom door. So you either hands to the wall or hands to the chair, and you try to, like, I'll go over here. You kind of lean back so your body's in a right angle, right? So I'm just showing you for this purpose. Your hands are on the chair or the wall. Your hands could be at the height of your hips. Your feet are about the width of your hips. You can bend your knees a little bit and draw your butt back and up and press your legs straight and just kind of, it's like essentially a down dog standing, right? Let your head hang, breathing here. And then from here, you can maybe step one foot forward and the other foot back and straighten the legs. It's a little calf stretch. It's a hamstring stretch. Again, your hands on whatever, right? Your friends waiting in for the bathroom, put your hands on their shoulders, right? It's just a simple little stretch. Make sure you do both sides always, otherwise you're cockeyed. And then coming up, sometimes if I have the space, I will stand with my feet about hip width apart, lean into one foot and do a little quad stretch. So here I'm leaning into my left foot, I'm holding my right, and I first pull the heel in toward the butt cheek, right? So heel into butt cheek first, and then you're kind of pressing the thigh forward. It's like to deepen the quad stretch. And I'm telling you, these little poses, these little stretches make a world of difference. And then change. I'm just, you know, where do you live? Just having conversations. Yes, I'm the yogi on the plane. Sometimes I've actually led stretches on planes, certainly on my retreats. If I have a group of my students on the plane with me, we just whip out yoga poses. Why not, right? And then shake it all out. Then hands on something. Again, you just find something. Hands on a chair. You know, people are touching other people all the time anyway on planes, so don't be afraid. You know, it's, again, your right. You have a right to your comfort. So hands on something, standing with your feet approximately the width of your hips. You're bending your knees, Same stretch as you did sitting, outer ankle above the knee, and then you bend into your standing leg. It's a great stretch for your piriformis, your cushy, your hips. Oh, amazing. And other side. Just bearing down, even hand on the seat, your own seat, right? Bend into that standing leg. So good. And release. Now, sometimes if I'm fortunate enough to just have the space when I go to the more of the back of the plane, I have, again, no shame. This is a face of someone who does not care. So I will stand with my feet a little bit wider than my hips. I bend my knees, I take my hands to my low back, I interlace my fingers, and I just let my head hang, right? And stretch the arms overhead, straighten the legs a little. Oh, amazing. And if I'm just in the, in the zone of airplane stretching, I'll bend my knees, even hand to the ground, or not even quite touching it, depending on the airplane. You can twist a little bit. You can straighten the legs, right? And then hand down and then change. Oh, again, I feel amazing right now. And I'm not even flying, but it's just simple stuff. And release and then come on up. Maybe raise your arms up and lean back into a back bend. And again, just instinctively move, And you can stand with your feet touching or hip width apart. Slide your right hand down higher and your left. Lean one way. You can grab your wrist and pull. You can lean out in a diagonal. That helps to get into the low back. And then change, right? Oh, amazing. And I've also been known to do lunges in the aisle. So I will come to a crescent pose where I'm bending one knee and I'm just really going for it, leaning, and the other way, yeah. So I'm getting a little bit of a calf stretch this way, pushing the opposite heel back. And you can do that also just by pressing the heel down to feel that kind of stretch. I'm hoping that you're feeling so much better already. So that would be a pretty good, quick little routine that you can do on any flight. You can also do a lot of this in the actual airport, right? When you're standing in line in the security line. Unless you just got your global entry like I just did, and I'm so excited to skip all of the lines. So coming back to your seat, I actually found a buckle that makes the sound of the buckle, so I need to do this because creativity. So getting yourself resituated and comfortable, getting back into your chair, and hopefully now feeling so much better in your body as a result of stretching yourself out. And now, since you can't lie down, I would not recommend that on a plane for shavasana. If you feel like you need to repeat any of the stretches, do so again. Otherwise, it's more of a seated meditation, shavasana. So this time I would recommend wiggling back into the back of the chair so you feel much more grounded and upright and supported. Close your eyes again. Now inhale big, and maybe even let out a sigh. With your eyes closed, feeling the difference in your energy now as a result of doing all those stretches, and the difference now versus when we first started this little in-flight yoga class. And starting with your physical body, Once again, feeling yourself grounded on your seat, your feet feeling a little heavier, your knees feeling heavier, your thighs, your hands heavy on thighs, your shoulders relaxing, your eyes resting. You can even roll the tip of your tongue up toward the roof of your mouth and part your lips a bit. Noticing your breath, so breathing into your belly, the breath rising up to your heart and pausing. And then exhaling from the heart and the stomach and pausing. If you want to once more engage in that Ujjayi breath, then do that. And as you rest every breath, feeling your body more calm, more relaxed, unclenching anywhere in your body that you may be clenched. I want you to start to visualize the beauty of your destination, right? You get off the plane, you exit, you get your bags, you exit the airport. What's meeting you once you hit that air? And maybe for you, your destination isn't the happy place. Maybe it's the happy place after this trip. Or maybe you're not quite sure what that happy place is. But I'd love for you to visualize happiness upon a destination. Right? What are the sights? What are the smells? How does it make you feel? What are the tastes? What are the people like around you? Or lack of people around you? And just seeing yourself animated in joy out there as a result of your hard effort, getting on this plane, doing hard things, getting stuff done. I'd love for you to really fill yourself with pride, being so proud of yourself, and fill yourself with gratefulness for all that you've accomplished, all of the abundance in your life now, and the ways you continue to manifest really beautiful chapters. Give yourself another breath and let it go. I'd love for you to either just hit pause and be in the space of silence, or even give yourself a moment to just softly blink the eyes open and sense how calm you are now. Even on a plane, look at you, right? You have this capacity, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you. So I hope you can extend the same toward yourself. Thank you for sharing this in-flight yoga class with me. Thank you. Until we fly again. Namaste.